I was the other night. Oh, we'll talk about it when we get on.
We are live.
We're on?
Welcome, everybody.
It
Last
is-
show of the year.
It is the last show of the year, isn't it?
It is.
We didn't do it before Christmas show. Like, everything was just too hectic.
No, we've been
and
doing every other week, basically,
I
with
really,
this.
yeah, it has to be because I just don't have the time. And I used to be able to go, all right, then I'm going to Periscope, then I'm going to this. Then I just don't have that time right now.
What the fuck is Periscope?
It's a live stream from
It's
Twitter.
the Twitter. It's connected to Twitter. So when you go live on Twitter, you're actually going live on Periscope.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like
now I feel old.
I would do
Awesome.
videos, and just even if I'm cooking or talk, it was just talk about something that bothered me. I just don't. Again, I don't look at my phone and go, "Let me Periscope right now," because I just don't have the time for everybody else in the world to watch me go through my life. It's really weird, but we are here now.
And you get these fucking weirdos that will hit us both up. Well, you don't Periscope anymore. You're
When
going
are
to
you
do
gonna
videos?
Periscope?
And I'm like, dude, fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
eat a dick.
Yeah, some of them were all right, and I tried to be nice at first, but then they would repetitively message me, "Are you gonna Periscope today? Are you gonna Periscope today?" And I'm like, dude, I have a fucking family and a husband and 3 kids, and I don't have time to
And a
entertain
life.
you. Like,
And now
what the
you're
hell?
really occupied with your newest addiction,
I am addicted.
which is
Animal Crossings.
because somebody got a Switch for Christmas.
I did get a Switch.
Didn't even ask for it. I just was like, let me get it because all the kids have one now. Tina
All
was
the
getting.
kids these
Well, Tina was
days.
getting one for Christmas, and they all played Roblox together except for Anna. But Anna plays Animal Crossing. So Lewis and Anna been playing it for months. They've had Switches. Tina was getting one for Christmas with Animal Crossing. So I was like, let me get Mom one too and get her Animal Crossing because she played Roblox with them. Why not play this game with them? And
It is that addicting where I will be playing and I'll be like, why don't I put this tree over here? I'll move this bench over here. I have to put a little bit of grass here. And I look at him and I'm like, I am talking to myself. And he laughs at me.
I
I'm like,
answer her most of it. She'll be like, "Duh, say something. I'll be like, what's up, babe? And she'll be like, no, nothing in the game.
and I've never been a gamer. I don't play games. I wasn't into game
Because you
systems.
didn't find your game until now.
This game, I have an island. It's called Happiness.
Yes.
And I have decorated. I now have 8 villagers who live there who keep moving.
Which
from
the
different
max is
islands.
10.
Max is 10. I'm already a 3-star island. I started
She
on Christmas.
literally hasn't had this a week. She got it Christmas Eve night.
Oh, you did good.
Yeah.
I am.
Real good.
I
Yeah.
love it, and it's fun for me. It's constructive. I'm not sitting on my phone. I'm not looking at the internet. I haven't
Right.
posted on my internet in forever, and I wanted that because the kids will all. Anne will be sleeping.
That's a great point. You know, like I never thought of that, but when I'm gaming, I never think of social media or anything like that. Like I'm just into my game.
Yeah.
And that's a great point that, you know, usually you would be like on Facebook or scrolling and
right.
just wasting time, killing time looking. And the fact that now you have this, you literally have been doing nothing outside of like normal life
Yeah,
than playing Animal. I'm not kidding. She has a minute. She's on her Switch doing her thing.
So the other night, two nights that I was like, wow, you are addicted. This is how I knew. So the other night, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Anna's boyfriend was going home, and she had to be up for work at 5:30. And she was like, I really want to go to bed, but why don't we play for an hour, and then we'll just play? Well, by 3:30, she was like, maybe I'll lay down for 2 hours for work. I'm like, dude, whatever you want to do. We went and laid in bed. He was like, babe, you can keep playing if you want. I'm like, it's 4 in the morning. I got to go diving. Let me see if I can get a lobster tonight. So that's, I mean, literally where I was like, wow, I stayed up late. This is the best part. So I think it was Saturday night. Rocky and I were hanging out. We went to bed. It was like 2:30. We have sex, which, an hour later, I look at him in the bed and I'm like, you're so tired. You won't even go game with me right now. It's 4 in the morning. And I'm like, it's all right if you want to go to bed. He's like, babe, if you want a game. I'm like, no, it's all right. He goes, all right, fuck it. Let's go. So he gets on his game. I get on my game. By the time we shut our eyes, it was 7.
Isn't that such a woman way to ask a question, though? Like, instead of saying, hey,
I'm
do
like,
you
you're
want
too
to go?
tired.
But wait, to be fair, why couldn't you just game by yourself? Like, why did
It's
he...
literally portable. Like, it's like,
Right.
yeah.
But when we're laying
Did
in
you want
bed-
him to play with you?
No, I don't
no,
play the
we don't-
game.
no,
I don't
it's
play this
separate.
game.
So
yeah.
then...
All right, so let me explain. In my
okay.
bedroom, in my bedroom, I try not to bring. Even on my phone, I try not to bring my games and my phone and stuff into my bedroom. We watch
Okay.
TV, we do our thing. The living room, we game out,
Okay.
unless I'm with the girls. And so I felt weird bringing it and laying in bed.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to go lay on the couch, but how awkward. We just have sex. I come, and I'm like, I'm going to go back in the living room to game.
I mean, I feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
I had
to
you
convince
know,
him. Wrong with
no,
me,
you
like-
did your wife duty. Like it's
Right. I
totally
had to
fine.
convince
Yeah.
him.
Everybody
It's-
came.
yeah.
I'm gonna go.
It's
game.
not like it interrupted,
High five.
our thing.
I can't. I had to get him to go with me, and he did. He came out. He ponied up.
Yeah.
But the next day we were both like,
You guys
"Fuck."
paid for it.
She woke up at like 10:30. I'm like 3.5 hours. I'm like animal, laying in my bed. I hear the bubbles of like the fish I have to dive for. I'm like, go to sleep, Jessica.
Yeah, but
It's
she
really
has
incredible.
like constantly, and like she said, she's never been a gamer, and
Never.
I've been a gamer my whole life. But our relationship is, I'll sit on the couch and play video games, and she's just doing whatever.
Yeah.
So now,
Now she's
that
found
she
the game
has
that's
something.
hers.
I don't get really are you gonna shut that off anytime soon anymore? Because now it's like, hey, play your game all you want, so I can play mine, and
Yeah.
it's new and it's different, but it's adorable because again, she was never into gaming. Like when I got the little Super Nintendo, she played Zelda for a little bit.
Yeah.
I like
And
Zelda.
she likes Zelda, and I got her the Zelda on her Switch, but she literally has not even touched it yet.
I will be honest. I went to turn it on because I shut Animal Crossing. I was letting it save. I'm like, let me put this down. I go to Zelda, but the introduction was like 5.5 minutes. I'm not kidding. I was looking at the time. Five
can't
and a
skip
half
it?
minute. No.
Yeah.
Of her finding Zelda on the beach, and then you see like the thundering
Yeah,
bolts,
and
I
then
just
Ganon
like, this
comes.
is not for me.
Well, you just got to get past that and get into the game.
It's very
Like,
story-ish. Yes, I know.
no, but
I
once
do.
you get into the game, there's literally none of that ever again
know, but I
until
had
the
fish
end
to
of the
sell.
game. That's the thing. That's
It's
really
not
it.
the priority
No, but that's
right
really
now.
it. Like she is so hooked on this game that she would play Zelda if it was the only thing there and Animal Crossing didn't exist. But the fact that Animal Crossing exists, nothing else does.
You know, it's so you can explore. You can
Yeah.
go to your airport, and then I can go to other islands.
Yeah.
And dig up treasures.
Oh, I know people at work that bring their Switches, and in the break room, they're sitting there
And-
playing Animal
I
Crossing.
took a picture and posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was all four of them at the kitchen table, heads down in their Switches, all playing Animal Crossing. And I was like, everyone has a Switch but Dad. But I really, if I wanted one, I would get
You
one.
would've gotten
Yeah,
it,
like
yeah.
I'm not,
But he wants the PS5. That's next on the agenda.
yeah, my PS5 is my thing. So, once I get that, I'll
But
be
Christmas
happy.
was good. Christmas was
Hooray.
very
Yeah.
good. And just the fact that we're all healthy is what I love the most. Everybody's like, "How was your Christmas?" I'm like, "Dope. I was with my husband and my kids. We were
Yeah.
my mom, his mom. We saw my aunt, and it was nice. It was intimate. I didn't get to see one of my brothers on Christmas. However, we spent yesterday and got dinner.
Well, that's nice.
See,
So-
what's funny? The people asking her, how was your Christmas? They want you to go, what did you get?
Oh,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like most people are that mind.
I don't really give a shit
that trend,
about what
but,
you
but that's
got.
kind of their way of like,
Yeah.
I want to tell you what I got, and she's not.
Like, if
she
you're
got great stuff.
excited-
Trust me, she got spoiled. So you got a beautiful
If-
diamond bracelet, this, that, and the other
If you're
thing.
excited about getting things and like you want to tell me, that's great. But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be like, well, what did you get? What did he get
No,
you?
I-
Did
Right.
he do good? Like
Yeah.
I don't.
I
give
feel
a
like most
shit.
people ask you, "How was your Christmas?" to get to that part of it of
Oh,
like,
oh, well,
yeah.
guess what I got?
That's
Exactly.
annoying.
Yeah, but no, we both did very good for Christmas. Gifts are never the issue. I like spending time.
Yeah.
I went to my mother-in-law's from 2:00 in the afternoon until 8:00 at night, Christmas Eve. Oh no, later, 10 o'clock
Yeah,
Christmas Eve.
yeah.
And then we went to my mother's on Christmas, and we were there from 3:00 until 10:00 at night.
Right.
I like to be with my family. I like to just, even if we're just hanging out, we've always been that way. I try to instill it in my children. It's super important, because you never know
It's
when you're
time.
not going to have that person.
And like
you know?
both
What is
of
it?
us,
Presents over present.
when it
Right.
comes to like the little things, like both of us are like, I want this, so I'll get it now. Like
Yeah.
we're not, I'll
Yeah.
wait for Christmas. So like when Christmas comes, she got the Switch. It's something that she would never think for herself to get. I got her a
Right.
diamond bracelet, and then most of the rest of the stuff is from the kids. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like things I buy obviously, but
Right.
from the kids.
Yeah.
And it's little like tchotchkes normally. You know, like
Yeah.
she got like a meditation mask with speakers in it,
Yeah.
but
So I
it's
can meditate.
Bluetooth. But I'm pretty good at thinking of decent things for her also.
He wants.
If I
you
like to
did
pat
very
myself on
good,
the back.
babe.
You did good.
You
You
did
did
very
good.
But
good.
even like for me, like it's impossible to shop for me because if I want something,
You're
I
gonna
go,
buy it.
yeah, I'm not the type of person to wait. I'm like day one guy. Like
Yeah.
something comes out that day, I want it that day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and wait a little bit. PS5, like I'm super annoyed I don't have one because they're impossible to find.
Yeah.
But I've kind of come to terms with it because there's really nothing on there I'm dying to play right
So
now.
you can wait until
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
another month or so. For
Yeah,
it to
like
be
if there was a
easier to
game
find.
that was exclusively on there that I can't play that I
Right.
want to play, I'd
That'd
be
be-
like,
yeah.
it'd be driving me crazy
Yeah.
right now. It
You'd
really
be
would.
scouring
yeah.
the internet trying to find it. I will
Absolutely.
pay $3,000
Yeah.
and suck your
There
dick
are
for this
people that do
PS5.
that, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, they dropped the ball on it the games for it this time around. So someone like me who, I really want it, I'm not at
But
the
you're not
point
gonna
where,
lose your mind
I
over
have
it.
to have it right this second because, again, there's nothing enticing me at the moment to get it.
Christmas time brings up a lot of feelings too. You know, you always have the crazy uncle who's drunk that shows up, or the cousin that you don't talk to. I didn't have any.
Well, this year was different because of social distancing and all that stuff. Like, you're really not having big gatherings anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But I don't know. Have you had anything experienced that?
Oh yeah, I came home today and I hear from Chris upstairs. Oh, you have some mail. I'm like, all right, yeah. And I open it up, and at first I'm like, is this from my mother? Because the last name was West on the return. I was like, but it's from Texas.
Ooh.
And I go, I don't talk to any of those fucking people anymore. And
Yeah.
I open it up, and it's from my aunt, who I haven't seen or spoken to in over 16 years.
Oh my God.
So
Reason?
What?
Reason?
Because she.
Not that you have to give
No,
like
no,
the
no,
exact. Is it
it's
like a
fine.
fight or?
It's just because my mother's side of the family have been calling me and my siblings guinea trash my entire life.
Whoa, what are they?
Whoa.
So
Wait, well, hold on, because I take offense to this being an Italian.
Yeah.
What are they?
Hi. So this is why once I was old enough to tell them to go fuck themselves at
Yeah.
Well, what's their
17,
background though?
Not Italian.
But what is it
It's
though?
Irish.
Fucking get out of
Yeah,
here!
I
You're
know,
lower than
I know.
I'm fucking
Listen,
Irish.
listen,
Fuck
listen.
off.
Hear me out.
Fucking balls on them.
They did it because they never liked my father, and they took it out on us as kids. And it's just, I was 17. We went on a cruise together. My father was not invited for this. And they spent the entire cruise shit talking my father, and my mother just sat there and ate it. So I finally snapped on all of them collectively
Yeah.
Yeah.
and told them all to basically eat a bag of dicks. And that was the last time I saw
Rightfully
any of
so.
them.
Ready? Put our amazing cuisine aside, because right there
Yeah,
we
come
win,
on.
you fucking
Italians
potato
are
eating
on,
cocksuckers. But now let's go to pop culture. Godfather, Rocky, Sopranos. Name me one thing Irish in pop culture or anything like that
All right.
that is even close to fuck off with your Irish shit. Fucking Irish pieces of crap.
Look
Fuck
at him being all
them.
defensive. His sister here.
Because like
no, but
guinea
right,
trash,
this is what
fuck
happened.
them.
So she wrote
All right.
you a letter.
So this is the thing. She sends a Christmas card. Mind you, I have no ill will towards these people anymore. I've forgiven them because I realize, listen,
Why carry hate in your
You
heart?
are who you are.
Right.
I just have no desire to have anything to do with you.
Right.
So I haven't thought about these people in over a decade.
Yeah.
So I open this card and I read it out loud to Wendy, and it's, "Hi, it's been a really long time. I'm glad you're spending time with your mother. It means everything to you." Then she goes on to tell me about her kids and where they live and everything. And that's it. No, how are you?
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I should have done this sooner. I miss you. No.
No.
Let me tell you about my life.
Yeah, because she did
Whoa.
nothing wrong.
So this is my thought process. Are you fucking dying? And
Yeah.
you're realizing how shitty you've been the last almost 20 years? Like, I don't care where your kids are.
It's funny you say that because John just told a story on Super Ugly that his godfather he hasn't spoken to in 10 years, I think he said, because the guy, when his grandmother and mother were dying,
Yeah.
he was the guy that was going, go in the house and get me this. Like trying to steal shit from them as they're dying.
Yeah.
So John was like, fuck off. And he hasn't spoken to him in 10 years. The guy calls him and turns out he's got stage 4 cancer.
But this is my thought process. Listen, my mother has 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and I haven't seen or spoken to any of them since I was 17 years old. So you're
Yeah.
talking over 16 years at this point. I don't need you coming back into my life now.
Right.
And with what precursor? You're telling me what my cousins are doing. I don't care.
Right.
I already know from my
What type of
brother.
things was it?
It was just like, oh, Colleen has 3 kids and she's living near me, and Danny, is married and he's living near me, and Lisa and her partner are
I was
living
bragging
in DC.
and look
Yeah,
how
and I'm
great
like-
my kids are doing.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Right. Well,
Like, you can't even look at my life. I have all of them blocked on all of social. So the fact of the matter is, you're coming out to tell me how great your kids are doing. You tell me how you're doing.
Right.
Because clearly you've got some guilt because I never gave you my address, which means,
so
number
she
one,
asked
my
for-
mother gave
yeah,
it to
Yeah.
she
you,
asked for it. But
which pisses me off.
let me just say something. And I am, I have a lot of people in my family that I don't associate with for many reasons. But I'll use one specifically. I don't speak to my biological father. Him and my mom separated when I was 3. My dad took care of me my entire life. This person came in and out and disrupted my life many times. And recently, my brothers both have said, he's not doing well. He's in an old home. He's getting, he really wanted to talk to you. He didn't know why you didn't like him. And I was like, let me stop you right there and tell you that I have no feelings for this person.
You're apathetic at this point.
I would stand and walk over you if, honestly, I don't care. So please don't put me in the position to have to explain why I don't want to.
Right.
And
Like, as an outsider, the only reason I see, like, when she brings up her father, which is almost never, but the stories I've heard, the only reason why
He's not
he
my
would
father.
even, no, I'm sorry, the guy, him, Bob.
You'd say Bob.
The only reason why, from what I can tell, he would try to even have anything with her was not for a father-daughter relationship. It was to piss off her real father
hurt
who
my
raised
mother.
her, and to
Right.
hurt. It was a revenge thing. But the guy was such a fucking bad dad that he would make plans and then just fuck her over.
I'd be waiting at the door like a kid, 8 years old, with my bags for the weekend. He wouldn't show up.
Which is the win for her mom and dad going, yes, see, exactly who we know you are, you piece of shit. And
Right.
all he's doing is now hurting her.
And no parents are perfect. No people are perfect.
Correct.
However, now to reach out, he reached out when my dad died with an email like, I'm here for you and I love you and I miss you. Daddy's always here. And when I read that, it was actually the week I buried my father. I wrote an email back and my mom cried when she read it.
I would have lost
And
my
she
shit.
was like, Jessica, that's probably one of the meanest things I've ever read in my life. And I said, I needed to say it. Now I bid him goodbye. And I'll never open that door again.
See,
You
he
don't
wants
have,
his peace of mind before he goes
Yeah.
to the next
Yeah.
part of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you
he
don't have
wants
the
to.
right to hurt me anymore. You lost it at 13
Yeah,
years
you don't get
old.
your closure.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So
Like, he
I
doesn't
did.
deserve
I said,
it.
I said some pretty horrible things, and I was not happy with who I am now. I wouldn't write that now. But he needed to know, that there is no room. Don't come when I'm vulnerable and then try to get back in my life. So what I would say as my advice for you, like, because it sucks when you think about what they've done to you, the peace in your heart and the love in your heart is all that matters for you, and any of their energy and feelings
Oh yeah.
cannot affect
Well,
you,
that's why
because
I-
it'll change you. Thinking about it, it changes you.
I swung wildly, like even on the way here, I swung wildly between wanting to make a card for her for Happy New Year and be like, my life's really awesome. Please don't ever feel the need to fucking reach out to me again and
Right.
kick rocks. But then the other side is why?
Yeah, then you
why
give
am
her
I going to
that-
feed into this? Because then she's going to say, "See, I knew they were trash.
I
I knew they were
tried.
garbage.
Yeah.
I reached out."
See,
no,
I'm
fuck
petty though. I
you.
love that satisfaction for
I
me.
know,
Like, fuck
but-
the right thing.
But listen,
fuck,
this
you
is,
know, like,
no,
I
no,
get
no.
satisfaction.
See, this is what you have to realize about my mother's side of the family is that they're very snobby.
Mm-hmm.
They're very holier than thou. They're better than everybody else,
Yeah.
and that shit drives me crazy because it's the phoniest shit. Which is another reason I have nothing to do with them.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all superficial. Facebook, Instagram. My life looks perfect, but the reality is everyone's cheating on each other.
Right.
Everyone's working on a second.
You
third,
didn't tell
and
me
fourth
that about your
marriage.
dad. I didn't know that.
About what?
That he was in the whatever, and he.
I told you that Robert and Mark said that he
When was
in that-
this? Recently?
That was a few months ago.
I don't remember
Robert
that.
and Mark said that he's in an old age home. Mostly Robert. Mark, he said he speaks to him every now and then. Desiree talks to him, but when we were kids, they didn't talk to him.
Right.
I did.
See,
Right.
but that, like,
They
to me
all wrote
again,
him off.
like, I'm looking at that going, that's not for a relationship. Like, I want to fix, maybe get something,
No,
anything.
He was
He
asking,
just
I don't
wants
know
it.
why Jessica hates
He
me.
just wants it for him. So, like, before he dies, I have closure,
Yeah,
knowing
and he's
that,
had, like,
hey,
3 heart
you know.
attacks.
Exactly.
He's definitely not healthy. But just as for everybody who is listening to understand why I won't even bother. I was 13 years old, and he was gone for about 2 years. Never heard from him. Then he shows up. I miss you. I want to see you. He picks me up and tells me, I want you to live with me. And I'm like, oh my God, my dad wants me. And I was already going through shit as a kid because I was lashing out. And I went home and I'm like, Mom, I want to live with my dad. And my mother goes, go live with him. That's what you want. Go. I moved out.
Funny, because in her head, she's going, I know how this is going to play
Yeah,
out.
I moved out that next morning because he brought me to his apartment, which I slept on a couch. The next morning, he brought me to the court. And he's like, I want to reverse child support for
That's what it
Jessica
was.
because she's with me now. They reversed. We had to go to court for like a week or two, okay? They reversed everything. And as soon as the paperwork went through and as soon as my mother had to pay him child support, he dropped me off at a fucking group home. Rose Pelletier. And when you get dropped off under 16, you cannot leave.
Yeah.
I was there for fucking 2 years. They're connected to Madonna Heights. The fights in high school, I was one of fucking 10 white girls in Deer Park High School. the things leaving me there where he was like, this is what you need. It's an independent living program. I'm like, you told me I was coming to live with you.
Yeah.
And my mom, of course, was like, I'm not taking you out. This is what you wanted. Now you see who he is. And it was a hard fucking year before my mom goes, all right, I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
But this time, you're going to learn who's who. And
Correct.
it was hard for me as a kid to go, how the fuck do you pick me up?
Yeah.
And then just use
Yeah.
me and drop me off. And that was one of many things he did.
As a father
kid.
of two daughters, like, I could see what happens once you break that bond. Like, daughters are ruthless where they're like, no, fuck you. Like, I've seen a lot of daughters with their fathers that way that are bad dads. As a father of two daughters, I'm like, it's so easy to be a good dad with daughters. Like, it's not a matter of, buying them shit. It's a matter of just loving them and giving them, that.
Security.
Literally, that's
Yeah.
all they want
Foundation,
is just a dad that loves them and that is in their lives. And it's not hard to do.
No.
But to sit there and like be like that, you look at that and go, "What the fuck?" Like, I can never imagine. Like, yeah, I yell at my daughters now and then because they do stupid shit, but that's the extent of like
That's just
parenting.
getting
Yeah.
frustrated, and that's just being human.
But
There's
as
nothing
far
wrong with
as
that.
like them never wanting to speak to me, I can't imagine a world where my daughters wouldn't want to speak. Like, that would murder me for one. But like, I can't imagine anything I would do to them because I'm so soft when it comes to them.
Right.
In the long run, like I may be like a jerk, disciplining at one point, getting loud or yelling.
Right.
But I'm immediately like remorseful about it, and we'll go in and be like, "I'm sorry, I acted that way.
Well,
Please
'cause
don't
you
be mad."
realize when you've gone too far, but
Yeah.
you're mature enough to realize it's okay to backpedal and go, listen, I know what I said. It was fucked up. I took it too far. Whereas a lot of adults aren't willing to admit
Right.
when they've made mistakes like that.
Well,
and they're
being-
not
I'm
willing
also
to
dad though,
backtrack.
like when because Anna's, she's dating, but she has a steady boyfriend now. But she would come home and I can see something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, not recently, but in the past. And I'll leave her alone for a little bit, but then I'll go downstairs and Jess won't ask me, or I'm the type of dad to go in there and be like, for one, who do I need to fucking kill? Like, that's the first thing out of my mouth. Who the fuck do I need to kill? No one, Dad, please. Da, da, da. But then for two, I always reassure her, fuck them. You're
Right.
beautiful. You're the catch. They're lucky to fuck. Like, that's the type of dad I build my
Right.
daughters up to the highest fucking peaks that I can.
It's also though important that, like I explained, with him, he had 4 of us, and then left my mom and was with another woman, had 2, left her and had another one. So I have three stepbrothers and sisters. I don't know. My mom was working 4 waitress jobs to support us.
Right.
And, with my husband and the way he is with his children, being a dad isn't just talks. It's giving them a bath. It's taking them where they need to go. It's cleaning their bed if they have an
It's
accident.
being a
It's being a
partner.
dad. And
Well, it's even like
he has
sitting down
never
and
done
coloring
that.
with my 5-year-old. I want to
Never.
color. Okay. I want to
Yeah.
play wrestling figures. Oh, the only place where I draw the line is playing dolls. Like,
Yeah.
she knows dad's,
but yeah.
dad's not playing dolls.
Listen,
Everything
everyone
else.
has their limits,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
But my
There's
son,
nothing
I
wrong
play
with
video
that.
games with. My oldest daughter, she's my horror homie. We watch horror movies or just watch movies in
It's
general.
just being
Or
present in general, not saying I'm coming and then here I am with my bags and my other 2 sisters, my sister and brother are laughing and they're like, he's not going to come. And I'm like, yes, he is. And then he doesn't come. It just is a lot. And as an adult, I look and I go, your life is what you made it. Your sadness, your loneliness, your pain, your physical fucking, whatever it is, you created, and I don't want
but
anything
he's
to do
just a
with it.
user, and again, he's trying to now use you to make himself feel better.
Yeah.
That all right,
I'm
well,
so
she forgives me
sorry.
at least. At least
Yeah.
I know
But
that she. And it's like, no,
that's-
you don't deserve that.
That's
Fuck
how
you.
it goes towards the end. My grandmother had passed away over the summer. And again, same scenario. I hadn't seen her in over 16 years. I saw her one time, I think it was 2 years ago. She came up, she was 90 years old. And we were at my mother's house, and she literally just sat there and stared at me for the 3 hours I was there. She didn't know what to say to me.
Right.
She just stared and stared. Like, she didn't know what to do. Like, I knew what she was thinking because it's not hard. You haven't seen someone in over a decade. That's your granddaughter, and you can't say 2 words to me.
Yeah.
And after she had left, and my mother was talking to me about it, and she's like, why didn't you talk to her? I was like, she had nothing to say to me.
Right.
I said hello, and I kept it moving. She is a grown fucking woman. She
Yeah.
is 90 years old. I was like, and I'm not going to start a conversation where I don't have anything to say.
Right.
Because if you want to say something, we can talk. But I'm in my 30s now.
Right. I'm
So
not a
you're
baby
going to
anymore.
listen too. I'm
Right.
not going to sit there and just eat shit. Like, she was eating dinner the whole time, just staring at me wide eyed.
Well, I can't stand that. Like people give that to you, and now
But
that
it's that guilt.
now that I'm older, like when you were a kid, you used to hear, "Hey, respect them. They're older than you," and a lot of the time it'll be like, "But fuck that person. They're a piece of shit. I don't care about their
Correct.
Respect
age."
is one thing, but it goes both ways.
And now that I'm like almost 40, I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you're 70. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of
Right.
shit. Fuck you. You're not getting my respect. I'm
Right.
not treating you nice just because you're old. Fuck you.
Yeah, no. And she
Like
just,
you don't get a pass just because you're
no,
older.
No. And she had nothing to say. And even my brother said it. He's like, I think she was scared of what you were going to tell her. She didn't want to hear that I constantly heard her talking shit about my father my entire life.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
what are
the
you going to do?
worst.
And when she passed away, listen, I left work early that day because my mother had texted me and called me the night before. I called out of work. I was like, listen, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, listen, my grandmother was not a nice person. She called me guinea trash my entire life. I'm not taking off for me.
It's for my mom.
I did it for my mother. My mother
Right.
and I do not get along. But what do you do in that scenario? I don't hate my mother, but I know your mother passed away. You know, I took her
Right.
out to dinner. We spent some time together. I don't get along with her, but I also know she was upset and she was hurting.
Right.
And she doesn't see me very often, so she'll take what she can get. And that's terrible to say, but
Truth of the matter is, you never know when you get to that
correct.
situation where you're like, what do I say? What do I do?
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard, especially when they're older or if they're sick or if they have an issue. You
Yeah.
know, my grandmother on the Spanish side, my entire life, I'm not kidding, kids are to be seen, not heard. Go over there and clean. She would tell me, what are you, a mattress or a lady? You know, she was very, very mean. I mean, there was never a cuddle, never a hug.
Yeah.
My grandmother, she had cancer a few times. She survived. We'd see holidays. She was always around, but not nice.
Right.
And
Which is crazy to me because the woman I knew
yeah,
couldn't have been sweeter and
she was-
nicer.
I
Like,
mean, I'm not kidding. People would look and go, "Wow, she was just fucking mean." So I'd say about 9 years ago, my grandmother got very sick and she had a brain aneurysm.
maybe like 7 years because it was right when we started dating, but like we were actually like dating.
Okay.
Like we were
And
when
she
she
lived in
moved
Florida.
in. When she moved in, yeah.
She had a brain aneurysm and completely like paralyzed her left side, had to learn how to talk, walk, everything all over. So my mom texts and she's like, Grandma had a stroke. I got to go to Florida. And I'm like, I'm coming with you. I haven't seen my grandmother. She never was nice to me.
Right. But
I-
you didn't do it for your grandmother.
I
You did
didn't.
it for
I
your
went to be with
mother.
my mom. So we get to the hospital, and she wasn't talking, wasn't eating, nothing. I walk into the hospital room, and she like looks at me across the room, and my mom was like, "Do you want a minute?" And I was like, "I'd love a minute," you know. And I was worried because she wasn't talking. My mom's like, "She's not talking, Jessica. I don't know what's gonna happen." I walk next to the bed, and as I put my hand down, she, grabbed my hand and just looked at me, and just the tears
Yeah.
started to run down her face. And I was like, Grandma, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's when you sense
It's
your
okay.
mortality.
Yes. I'm like, it's okay. And everything's going to be fine. She
Yeah.
ended up pulling through. I got pregnant with Valentina. And again, she was doing well, but had another brain aneurysm and she had gone into another stroke. She wasn't talking, wasn't eating. My mom was caring for her. And I brought Valentina over. And I have pictures of just Val as an infant and her just looking at each other. We'd walk in and she'd go, the baby. I mean, it was the joy and the last
But it was like
few
the one
years-
thing that like actually like her brain registered and like
Yeah.
she like
She
woke
wouldn't
up
eat,
for
Val would
and
come, she would eat.
Yeah.
yeah.
So my mom was like, you know, the more you're around, the more, and she would get better and better. And we lost my grandmother a few years ago, but it was the moment that she held my hand that I looked and I said, I know that you're sorry, and I'm ready to start.
Well, I think all
over.
that changed because she loved me so much, and
She
she was
did
like,
love
"Wow,
me.
Jessica found a great
She
guy
did. I mean,
that
it
I'm
was-
turning the page on.
it
She
was
might
a
be
change.
she might be good. I might have been wrong this whole time."
You know, you would never notice. Like, again, she would be the woman smoking a cigarette. Go, get out of my fucking face. It's adult time. You know, like that's how she was.
But
And
she was vulnerable, and when I first met her, she was after all this, but she was like still aware. She wasn't like, you know, like a
No, she
invalid
was
or
sitting
nothing.
and talking,
Yeah, she
like-
was still like capable of interacting.
Right.
And I'm Italian, so when you walk in and there's a grandparent there, you walk over, you give him a kiss, hello, like
Yeah.
that's just what you do.
Correct.
And I guess in your family, no one does that.
not with my grandma because she was mean.
So I would walk in, and I didn't know this woman the first time I met her. Hey, grandma! I'd walk in, I walked up to her, gave her a kiss.
Right.
From that day on, she loved me.
like
Like,
this. When he
yeah.
walk in,
Every time I walked in, though, that's how it would go. And she was always very nice to me.
Right.
That's the
I
40
even
years
sat
out
with
of her.
her a couple times and just watched TV and
Right.
whatever she was watching and just hung out with her. But she was always very sweet. So like she tells me these stories. I'm like, she's
People
so
change
nice.
as they get older, though. People change when there's like health conditions and like the mortality thing. That's why I'm like, my aunt must be dying.
Right.
There's no reason.
Like, and that's what
There's no
And
fucking
people
reason.
want their
That's what I was
own
trying-
closure.
Yeah, give yourself the closure because I gave myself the
But that's
closure
different.
over
She's
a
not
decade
saying
ago.
I'm sorry.
No,
She's
she
just-
sure isn't. She's trying to brag. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. So your daughter got knocked up 3 times. Good for her.
Yeah.
Your son got married. Awesome.
It's
Your
al-
daughter's
it's al-
like, I don't care.
Tons
Yeah.
of people
I
get
don't
married and have
fucking
kids.
care.
Yeah.
It's always like that, you know, but like it's important, you know, with the change, with the things, with everything that has happened, you know, you don't know where life's gonna go.
Yeah.
And if it was a genuine, she wanted something, you would have known it, you know.
Well,
and
the reality
and
is, listen, all you had to write was, hey, I know it's been a really long time.
Can we talk?
Can we talk? I'd like to see what's going on. At the end of it, she wrote like her cell phone number. I have her address, obviously. And she said something about she wanted to send me pictures. Pictures of what? I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Right. There's other things that need to be
blocked
discussed.
you from
Yeah.
everything, and your kids are blocked as well. You want to send me pictures of people I don't give a shit about?
Yeah, that I haven't spoken
Like,
to
it's
in
not
years.
even like
and-
you said, you know, I'm just reaching out. I know things were really messed up between us.
like that's how it should have been.
Let's start
Exactly. Yeah.
over.
Right.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Not one iota, not one sentence of this had anything to do with me except for the fact that she knows I've been spending time with my mother. Okay, good for you.
Like that's not it's
Yeah.
our
So,
time. Yeah.
like, what do you want from me?
That's
Like,
my
it's been a-
mother. Like you being part of her family has nothing to do
Right,
with my
like,
relationship with
You've
her.
been dead to me for over a decade.
Mm.
Don't come creeping back now.
Right. Without the right
For
thing to
what?
say. Right.
And like exactly for what
For
though?
what?
Like
What's your
like you've been
purpose?
fine for this long without
Right.
these people in your life.
You
like,
didn't reach out to me when my father died.
Yeah.
Right.
That would have been your fucking moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I know your dad died and I know we were shitty to him, but no.
Yeah.
right.
Crickets.
No,
But
and
now
it's-
you wanna come
it's
back
that
almost
selfish
7
mentality.
years later?
It's not about you or
Listen,
the relationship.
correct.
It's about them.
Correct. If you're dying, if you're feeling sad, if you're lonely, listen, go ahead and be lonely. Go reach out to your kids. You just told me 2 of them live
Yeah.
close by. What? They don't want anything to do with you either?
Right.
Eat a bag of dicks. Like,
Right.
I'm not doing this with you.
Well, a person who has that kind of energy will have that energy with everyone.
Oh, correct.
You know, and unless again there is a put your tail between your legs, focus
Correct.
on what you did, explain, not even explain, just show me that you understand
What
what you
you
did to me,
did.
and then maybe we can have a conversation.
Correct. But you don't want to acknowledge anything.
absolutely.
Nothing. Like, listen, I may have been a surly teenager. I
Every
may have
teenager
come out of
was.
my face and said some things to them I shouldn't have, but you can't shit on a person for their entire life.
No.
And
You know
then
what?
expect me to just sit there and eat
No,
shit.
but you're saying that you shouldn't have, and not for nothing. Like the blatant disrespect of your father
Yeah.
in front of you.
Whether they like
you
him or not.
absolutely have every right to say that shit behind my back.
Correct.
Like, fine,
But you're
whatever. You don't
bold
like
enough
my
to say
father
it in front of my face at the dinner
and then
table.
expect me not to say, "Fuck you, that's my dad." I'm
Like,
gonna
I
defend
yelled
him.
at my drunk uncle who told me that I was raised like an animal. My mother's sitting next to him, mind you. He's shit-faced. He's a raging alcoholic. And I'm looking at him and I went, Chris, fuck you.
Balls on you.
And my grandmother's
Yeah.
like, you can't talk to him. Like, fuck you too.
Yeah.
I chugged
If
a glass
someone's
of wine and I
shitting on
walked
me
out.
and my
Come
daughters
on.
just sat there and didn't say nothing, I'd be mad at them. I'd be like, "You don't
Absolute-
defend
that was-
me."
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw them, any of them, except for my grandmother a couple years ago.
You were absolutely in the right. Like, no
Like,
matter what
I'm
your
not
age
doing
was,
it.
No,
no matter what
I was
their
17.
age is.
You're not gonna. I'm
Yeah,
on a
no.
cruise ship with you people for a week. I didn't want to fucking come. I'm finding out on day 2 my father was not invited.
I don't care if you're 10. Like,
Like-
you defending your father, fuck that. Like,
You're not gonna sit there and what? Oh, it's not appropriate. Well, fuck you.
it's not
and fuck
appropriate to
you,
talk
and
shit about
fuck
my
you.
father in
Like,
front of my face and
Yeah,
think I'm not going to
absolutely.
say nothing.
Correct.
Like I said, do it behind closed doors and not,
Right.
if you don't do it in front of me, whatever. People don't like each other. That's
Right.
fine. But the fact that you're going to sit there and trash my dad, who I love, in front of me
Right.
and
they
think
have
I should
no
just sit
regard
there
to how it makes you feel.
Correct.
because
Absolutely.
they're the type of people that people would start doing that to their own and they would join in and start naming the things that annoy them about
Right.
that person and join in on the trashing of them instead of being like, no, fuck you, that's my family,
Yeah.
this is someone I care about. Yeah, they have issues, but it doesn't matter, I love them, shut the fuck up.
Right. It goes like this too. Like when you think about like kids or brothers, sisters, or aunts, uncles, whatever, you know, imagine the moment of, you know, would you say that to their face?
Oh, absolutely.
And
that's the funniest
I am a
shit to
whole,
me.
like my family will all tell you, they call me the bulldog of the family. True story. Because when it comes down to anything, don't come to tell me that you don't like what mommy did and this and that because I think you should just call mommy. Or don't tell me that you don't like that I didn't do that. Tell me instead of telling everybody else.
Correct.
I'm very
See,
forward.
the mistakes like cousins and aunts would make with her is thinking they can go to her and air their grievances about her immediate family. Like her immediate family, brothers, sister, even if she's in a fight with them, if you come to them and start talking shit, she doesn't give a fuck. Like
that's
yeah,
that's my brother.
She
Like,
will
that's
fucking,
how,
she will rip your throat out for her brothers. I've never seen such loyalty
Right.
to brothers and sisters that my wife has. Like it's insane.
I mean, it could even be me complaining. I'm like, I don't like this, or talking about my sister or my other sister.
And
or
someone can join in and she'll
anyone.
be like, "Hey, I could do. Fuck you. Shut your mouth."
Because it's not about trashing. It's just me venting for a second.
Correct.
And I, if I wanted you to talk bad about anybody, I would say talk bad. But you're talking about my siblings now.
Right.
And same with my mom. Like I would have an argument, and Rocky would look and be like, "Babe," and I'd be like, "Don't, don't please," because I just want to vent right now.
No, but she'll have something
the
go
same way
on with
with
her
his mother.
brothers and or whatever, and she'll be saying what she's saying, and I just go, "All right, baby." And in my head, trust me, there's things I want to
yeah,
say,
of course.
but I go, just leave it because
It's not worth it.
It's not even that it's not worth it. It's I know who she is, and she doesn't want to hear anyone else's opinion at that time
I don't
either
want to hear
way.
anybody say bad things.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even if they're like, "This is how you should do it," I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna do it how I do it. Thank you very much." But it's just it's that whole my family is all I have,
Right.
including my husband.
Like
and
when I
children.
bring things up about one of her family members, I tiptoe so carefully, like what I say, how I say it. Like if I have like anything, like if there was a moment or something happened, I'm very careful with how I approach it with her because I know how she is and I don't want her to get the wrong idea. Like if I have an argument with a brother, which we've never had, but there's moments where there's things that happen that I need to bring up, and I'm like, how do I approach this?
Right.
Because I don't want her to get mad.
Correct.
You
Just
know, and like
defensive, not mad. Just
yeah,
defensive.
like defensive, which is her natural reaction. But with me, like it's
course.
kind of gotten, a little lessened because, we're husband and wife and, she needs to
But
defend
even
me
this
first,
goes
if
even
anything,
with
at this
his
point.
mother.
Yeah.
Let anybody even look at what the fuck you looking at my mother-in-law like that for? There's like a line. There's just a line of my respect for people and even my friends. I would never go, I fucking can't stand her. Hey, you want to get coffee?
Something happened with the neighbor, and I had to like walk her up from going there and beating the shit out of with my mother because one of the neighbors did. I forget what it was, like the smallest thing.
My mother-in-law parked somewhere. And she got out of the car and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to park here?" And the person she was speaking to kind of was just like, "Yeah, whatever, I'm sure." And she came inside and she was like, "I was going to move. I didn't know if I was in the way." And I'm like, "What the fuck did he say to you?" Because you're talking to an old woman, first
Right.
of all, my mom. Okay, I don't call her my mom. It's my mom. And you're a man. Like, so I wanted to go out there. She's like, no, don't do it. And I'm like, "Ma, if he ever speaks to you like that again, I expect to know about."
But it's funny because
there is
like
respect.
everybody, like my mother's, new to Jessica's world, and even she knows like there's certain things you could tell her, and there's certain things that you're just better left to be like, just let it go because she's a pit bull. Like if you tell her something, she immediately goes, "I'll fucking kill him," and now she's in that mode, and to get her out of that mode is really fucking hard. And
I don't fight for my family.
also she's the type of person that goes, "I remember what you did." It could be 25 years ago. She'd be like, "I remember what you did. Fuck you," and still fuck you. I don't care if it was 25 years ago or 20 minutes ago. I know who the fuck you
I
are.
will forgive people. I will
Yeah,
forgive
no,
you
absolutely.
for myself.
Yeah.
But I don't like you, and I don't want to be around
And
you.
it doesn't
you
give
know?
you amnesia
Yeah,
either.
it's not like, "Hey, now let's go hang out." I won't do that.
It's one of my
I
favorite
know.
things because I'm the same way. Like once you get in my head of fuck you,
Yeah.
it's really hard to get pulled
Oh,
out of
yeah.
that. Like really
We
fucking
all saw
hard.
that happen with me this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of
That
course.
You cross that line, and that's cool. I love you. I want the best for you, but you can't be in my bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that.
It's important for everybody to have that respect for themselves, and
You
also
have to have the boundaries.
if you
and listen,
cannot be-
family or not,
Yeah.
you cross those boundaries. I have two sisters that you guys will never meet.
right.
Wendy has never met.
Mine too.
Nobody will because they are truly terrible fucking people.
This is a
And
thing
I
in her
don't
family,
make
though.
excuses for that just because they're family.
No, what I'm saying is the way you are, because your Aunt Dolores is a lot like you.
Yes.
Where she's a pit bull also.
Yes.
And now,
I am very much like my Aunt Dolores.
but it's with the family. Like you fuck with the family.
Yeah.
They just, the switch goes off where it's like you're fucking done. And now I see it in Valentina. Like
Yeah.
Valentina is so attached to her brother and her sister.
Yeah.
Like she will, if anyone fucks with them, like God bless
That's
them.
how the four of us were when we were growing up. As we've gotten older and realized how terrible my sisters were, we're separate now.
Right.
But with me personally, I have a massive family, but I only talk to my brother
Right.
and his family. So I have family that isn't blood now. I have Wendy, I have Chris, I have their kids. Like
You have us.
I have you guys, but as you guys know, I'm extremely loyal to those people.
Yes.
So help me, anyone talks shit, I'm sorry, you're who again?
Right.
Like just because there's no blood there, that's my family. And this is what I have a hard time explaining to my brother. Because when I was going through my breakup and my ex's family were still reaching out, they still wanted to be a part of my life, he sat me down, he's like, they're not family.
Right.
And I went, Nikki, listen, I get what you're saying.
Right.
But he firmly believes if it's not blood, it's not family.
Right.
Which is why he has a hard time understanding why I split my holidays with Wendy and him.
Right.
And I tell him time in and time out. He finally realized it this year when he came to be Santa.
Yeah.
He got it. He understood. He saw how the girls were with me and how I am
Right.
with Chris and Wendy. And he said it. He's like, I get it, Katie. They are your family.
See,
You know,
outside of my immediate family, like that familial thing, like aunts, uncles, cousins, like fuck that. Like if you're shitty, like I don't care if we're family. Like
Correct.
that is
It's not an excuse.
Yeah, it's not an excuse. There's
For
one
bad
aunt and
behavior.
uncle
Like, no.
that across the street that I still talk to regularly.
Yeah.
Most of my aunts, uncles, cousins, I haven't fucking speaking to them in years, and I don't give a shit. I'm like, whatever, you do your thing, I'll do. It's not like there was a fight, but it's like
just, listen,
you don't
grow
reach out,
apart, and that's it.
you don't reach out. I'm not gonna reach out either. Like I'm not gonna sit there and chase you just because
Right.
we're family. Like that's
Just
not
'cause
me.
we have some genetics in common.
Like my family that's important is my family, my kids and my wife, our mothers, and outside of that, whether you want to be a part of it, great. If you
Right.
don't, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
You know, it's difficult though too. Also, like growing up, it's so weird. Growing up because I was the middle child, my younger brother and I were fucking sidekicks, and to this day, my little brother, he's 37 years old, my little brother, I mean, I could hurt for him, and I love him very much. My older brother, however, when I was younger, wanted nothing. You're talking about 6-year gap, and he was in his teens, and I was this 8-year-old that wanted to hang out with him and his friends. When we shifted, it was when I hit over my 20s and I was an adult that him and I have such an intellectual bond that my two brothers are my best friends. You know, I do have two sisters. I love them both dearly. However, we are very different personalities, so it's hard for us to spend time. There is no ill feelings or will. One is, out doing her thing, and one is just in a different lifestyle. So I love them, but again, I look at you and I can understand, like, my brothers are, I mean, no matter if I have an argument or not, they are my everything.
See, what's funny though, now that you mention it, because with Mark, your younger brother, you're almost like, I don't want to say like a mom type, but you're like very like coddling and protective.
I care
and
a
I can't
lot.
remember you and him ever really having an argument. You and Robert have had several arguments. You know what I mean?
Intellectually, we are very.
They never let it drag out though. They always
Right.
next day fix it. It's not one of those things, but they bump heads a
Well,
lot.
see, Mark's a Virgo like Rocky.
But
and
Mark, even if there was
Robert's
something that pissed him
Capricorn, like
off
my
that he
dad.
did, she would react to it in a different way. And I've seen it because there's something about Mark that you don't want to have conflict with him.
he's
Where with
just
Robert,
he's my baby brother.
exactly. With Robert, she's like, I don't care if I have conflict with him. This needs to be settled.
and we're, again, though, we are on that where we can actually say what we want and feel. We get through it and we left alone. I'm not a
it
harper.
doesn't blow up.
Yeah,
to
I'm not a
something
harper.
More.
Argument happens today. We won't talk about it
No,
tomorrow.
even when there's a
Right.
huge thing, like we've had huge things that were like, wow, I can't believe that just happened.
And it just shuts
And then the
off.
next day, they'll both be like, hey, listen, let's just, figure. And they talk it out and do whatever. I'm not there. I don't know how it works out, but it ends up working out almost immediately.
Craziest thing ever, Rocky coming into my family, my brothers never, ever got along with anybody I was ever with. None of my siblings liked anybody I've ever been with. And when Rocky came around, it was like their brother. And they have, the three of them, the purest and most awesome relationship. I love that they can all, and Rocky has a brother, difficult, And I'm always the one going, all right, well, and he's like, no, you don't understand it. And I still, even knowing, I'm like, you're right, but I got a little, I know he's crazy, but the soft spot for brother. I just love family.
Yeah.
And I love that we have a family. I look and I'm like, I thank God I have my brothers. My mom lost both her brothers. Like I would never want to imagine.
See, me, I always hated my brother growing up. And like to this day, we get along now. Like when, we can be civil, but even still to this day, I'm like,
Family's
like I don't
different.
forget
It's
how you
different.
were when we were kids. Like he was like awful to my mother, to me.
Yeah.
Like he was really, really shitty. So like I always have that in the back of my head of going, I don't give a fuck what you do. Like I still know all the bullshit you put us through.
Right.
So like I'm never gonna forget that, and honestly, I'll never forgive you for it. Like I could get past it and we can move on,
Right.
and I'll be civil for my mother's sake and all that shit. But like, as far as like a brother thing goes, I'm closer with her brothers in that aspect
Yeah,
than
but
my
there's
own.
nothing wrong with that either. Like, not everything's going to be a Norman Rockwell painting. It's just
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Like, there's no. Listen, they're your family. You love them. Listen, my sisters, they're terrible fucking people. I don't want anything bad to happen to them.
Yeah, exactly.
However, you're just not going to be in my life.
Right. You choose
And that's
what's in your
it.
bubble. Absolutely. And
That's
that's
it.
important. It's important to have those boundaries.
Just because you're my sister. So what? That
Well,
means you have to treat me
exactly. I
like
can't
shit?
stand that. Like, well, your
No.
family. All right, but
My
that
mother
still
does
doesn't
that
mean
shit
like,
too. Like
yeah.
she'll say something snotty and be like, "Well, I'm your mother." Okay, cool. Fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you get a
my
chance
brother's
to
like, "Don't
disrespect-
do it." I'm like, "No, I'm in my 30s now. She doesn't get to say whatever she wants and get a free pass."
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because you're
Oh
my
well,
mom.
she's older. No. She knows what
No,
she
she should know better if
Yes.
she's older. Like,
it was
fuck
on
that.
purpose. It was intentional. I know, like, listen, this is how we grew up. It's psychological warfare in my family. Like, I know what you said. You know what you said. It was intentional.
Here's another thing that I just want to bring up quick because we're almost at the end. Another thing that I find is super important with family is that spouses have no leeway. When Rocky was around at first, my mom did not like him, and she was like, "I don't like him. I don't want him at my house. I don't like him." My
Because I was still going through a divorce, and she
my
thought like I
husband,
was
however,
just telling her I'm getting a
never-
divorce
He never
type thing.
confronted or said anything to her. He never came out of his face. And after a year of us together, she finally did come here, and she was
Right.
like, "You know what, Rocky? I was wrong. I appreciate how you take care of my daughter, and I love you." And they have had a beautiful relationship.
She was
Rocky's,
suspicious.
Yeah,
which-
Rocky's mom too.
She had
At
every right
first-
to be. That's
Right.
why,
At
like in
first,
my head, I'm going, she has a
was-
right to be. You know what I mean? Like
I was a shocker for Ginger. Okay, I walked in being who I was, and she was like, "What is?" And he's going through
complete
his divorce.
opposite
It
of.
was a shocker, but at never any moment did I ever go to my mother-in-law and go, I would never disrespect
Right.
my husband's mother, and he would never disrespect mine.
Correct.
When people allow that kind
At
of
first, though, you
interaction,
did have a couple moments where it was like heated a little bit.
Yes.
But they both
never did-
immediately nipped it in the bud and were like, all right, listen. And they both kind of understand this is who I am. This is who you are. This is how we react to
all
things.
respect.
And now, like, forget it. They're freaking frack. You know?
Yeah, but there's you when you're intertwining families and energy,
It can get a little messy.
it can, and there's kids involved. I would never take my children from either one of their grandmothers because we have an argument. You have to remember the loyalties are not just to yourself, but to your children who are watching and growing, and to your family. It's super important. I'm
My
proud of
mother's
you.
super protective. I was her baby. She raised 2 boys, but I was the
You were the
prize.
baby.
Like,
I'm very
and
proud of you.
and
that
the
you didn't
women,
send that letter back.
the
yet.
women before Jessica were not good for me. So she had fences up always, and then it took a little bit for her to put it down with Jess. But now that it's down, like she's
I mean, his
yeah.
mother on a regular. Thank you for being so good to my son and grandchildren. My mother too loves Rocky dearly, but we've always again kept that respect of him. And I can say what we want, but I'm not gonna. You're not gonna. We're not gonna. We have to have that. That circle. It's got to be.
And when something
for
comes up with
everyone.
me, she stays out of it. Like that's between
Him and
me
his
and this
mother?
person.
Yeah, or whatever.
And
Because,
it's the
it
same
has
with
nothing
her,
to do
like,
with
it-
you.
yeah.
It's between two
But
other
some
people,
spouses like
and
to
that's it.
add their 2 cents, and then they take it as that time to go, good, now I could say this thing that's been pissing me
No,
off
see,
about them.
That's listen. I'm all for petty McSchmetty. It's my favorite fucking thing sometimes. However, when it comes to interpersonal relationships, especially family wise, I'm not doing that.
Or someone's
Well,
mother.
also
or
because
someone,
once
like,
the
there's
heat of
just
the moment's
rules.
over, it's going to be
They're
like,
gonna remember,
wait a second, didn't
oh,
you say? And now it's like,
correct.
motherfucker,
and
like,
now you're at dinner with them, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do now?
No, absolutely.
and like as the son-in-law, like I go out of my way to make sure I do everything to just make her happy that, her daughter and grandchildren are taken care of and that I'm nice around her. You know what I mean? As long as everything's good and with her, that's all that matters. Like, there's no reason for me to be shitty with her. She's not a bad person. She doesn't talk shit. Her mother is like the greatest person ever, honestly. Like, she's a yogi type person and she's very peaceful. And so it's almost impossible to really piss her mom off anyway. It really is. And she deals with a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, I would really have to do some crazy shit to fucking get in her bad place at this point.
Even if he was upset, he would never come out of his face and be disrespectful. And that's so important. Same with his mom. I mean, again, we've had a few tiffs growing, but that woman will literally get me a massage and go, you need to go get a massage because you are way too good. You do everything. And it's just that way. We kind of have formed this huge circle around us. For you, I love that we're a part of the circle, and there are going to be a lot of people who try to poke. Just remember that your reaction, your response is taking time away from you being who you are.
Well, listen, here's the thing. People can poke
I'm
as
trying.
much as they want.
I'm trying.
They can try to poke as much as they want. People have tried to poke through you.
Right.
And I find it hilarious because I laugh about it. Like, there's nothing you can do. I live my life exactly as I want to live it.
Right.
It doesn't matter what other people say to me. I've hit a point in my life where I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's what you think. What do you want me to do with that?
Do you pay my bills?
Like,
That's why I enjoy her
It
so much,
doesn't
though, because
matter.
she is literally an open book.
Yeah.
Like, you can ask me whatever you want. We've had very weird conversations. You've asked me about my vagina randomly.
Yes, he did.
Knowing I knew you wanted a reaction, but I mean, it's like, oh, whatever.
No, honestly, like I knew I can ask you that question.
it
Like,
wasn't
I
there.
felt comfortable enough to ask you that. Like, if it was
Pull
someone,
it out. No,
no, but if
I
it was
just-
one of her other friends sitting here, I most likely wouldn't have asked that. But I know who you
But
are
it's
and that
just-
you're not the type of person. How dare you?
It's just
You're gonna be
so
like,
much
all right, you're
easier.
curious.
It's so much easier to just live your life as who you are and no lies and no bullshit. 'Cause I don't have to remember a lie.
Yeah.
Listen,
Of
this is
course.
what happened.
No, it
I'm
really
sorry.
is.
That's what happened.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. It's just
Like-
easier to be open and honest.
I
because
said what I said. It's my favorite thing. I said what I said. I say what I mean what I say. I
Yes.
hate bullshit conversations. I have to drag it out of people. I'm like, listen, use your fucking words.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Use your fucking
And
words.
fake, it's just that
Like,
fake people though, like those
I can't
the
do
people
it.
that are like nice in your face, and then the
No.
second you turn around, they're ready to stab you in the back, and it's like, why be that person? If you
That's
don't
why
like
I'm
me, that's
so
fine. I'm
particular.
okay with you not liking who I am.
People
I'm
are
totally
like, why
fine
don't
with
you
that.
go anywhere or do anything? I'm like, because, well, the people I want to hang out with can't, and then I'm not just going to hang out with
anyone,
random people
right.
because
Yeah.
of what? I'll stay home by myself
better
then.
off being in your good energy.
Like I
not
used to
doing
be in
it.
that circle of like, all right, I have 20 million friends,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and out of 20 million,
It's
like
called your 20s.
Yeah.
Then I have
Like,
two real friends.
99% of
Real
them, you'd be
friends.
like, if I didn't hang out with this person, I would never see you. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's like that one person interacts you with all these other people, and it was like, all right, well, I'll tolerate you because we're all here together.
correct.
But the second they're out of my life, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about you.
Correct.
And
I'm
every
not
now
gonna hit
and
them
then,
up outside of like the group at that point. If you're there, cool. If you're not, I'm not gonna miss
Right.
you.
and with social media, they'll like pop their heads and be like, hey, what's up? And
Oh,
be like,
How
no,
you
no,
been? Well,
like,
it's been high
What do you
fucking
mean?
20
Like-
years.
Nobody's dumb enough to do that with me.
no, every now and then we'll get it, and it'll be like, really, dude? Like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck about your life.
I got
like,
the
fuck
low
outta
tech
here.
version with the Christmas card this year.
Oh
like,
my
come
God.
on.
Well, I will say that it was a great back from Christmas show, and I look forward to talking about things from the new year next week. I appreciate you guys, and I'm thankful. And
We're thankful for Uncle Vince.
well,
for
definitely
putting
thankful
us
for Vince. We
out
love
there.
him.
And I had a good talk with him the other day, so look forward to things
We
in the
thank
future.
everybody who joins our show as well. We love every one of you, and we appreciate all the input and people talking. And,
Cousin Nikki was in there. He said,
I
"Yo,
saw.
cuz."
All
All right.
It's just hard for me to write and talk at the same
I know.
time.
I know.
I'm
I just,
blonde. But we are excited. I appreciate everybody. I love you all. And is there
Happy
anything else?
New Year.
Happy New Year, because they won't
Happy
be
New
here.
Year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
You guys won't be here.
Happy
That's
New
right.
Year.
We'll have to see you next Tuesday.
No, there's nothing else. Russo'sBrand.com. You got like 2 days left to get a free month, so go to Russo'sBrand.com right now. Sign up. It's only $3.95 a month. You get a whole bunch of new content, and it's really good stuff. So go over there, Russo'sBrand.com, OpieRadio.com, wherever you get your podcasts. Go subscribe to the Opster, OpieRadio.com. Leave a thumbs up, a comment, whatever you can do to show support. StatementGames.com. Go place your
He
free.
hasn't been here forever, that motherfucker.
I know. We actually just brought that up. We're gonna get him over here soon. Go to StatementGames.com. You can place free prop bets. You can pay to play, but you don't have to, and you can win real cash gift card prizes and other memorabilia. So go to StatementGames.com. And
Just his voice. I love it.
that's it. That's
All
gonna
right,
be the
guys.
end
We
of it.
will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.